Hey, so I wanted to talk a bit about something that the left is actually right about, and that is that our system of labor is completely screwed up. Now, this is probably going to get me some hate from right wingers, um, but our labor system, the way that we have promotions and whatnot, is completely ass backwards. Now, first off, if you are in management, you are dealing much more with mathematics and computer systems than you are with physical labor. Um, Now, most entry level jobs are physical labor and not a whole lot of mathematics. Or if they're like customer service or like cashier, then you deal with mathematics, but you're only dealing with a little bit of mathematics. And you don't need to have done very good in school to do very good as a cashier. Now, jobs, when they employ you, they will look to see if you have a high school diploma. You don't need a high school diploma to get employed, though. And they don't look at your grades. And I don't think your high school diploma shows what your grades were. It just shows that you did graduate high school. Um, Now, so essentially, you could have been a genius in high school. You could have been a total mathlete, and it doesn't matter. You get treated exactly the same as someone with a GED who failed math like 6 times. Uh, so they don't look at your mathematical scores to judge whether you're good at math. Um, and when you are working towards a promotion, you are essentially going from one kind of work to an entirely different kind of work. Let's talk about the job that I currently have. I work at a corner store. I do cashiering. I have to make food. I have to stock shelves. I have to clean. That's a lot of physical labor and a tiny little bit of mathematics. And very simple mathematics because the computer itself shows you what the change is, so you don't have to do a whole lot. Um, Now, if I were to be promoted to store manager, I would be dealing much more with mathematics and much less with the physical labor. I wouldn't have to make food. I wouldn't have to stock shelves. I wouldn't have to be cleaning all the time. I would have to do much less work. uh, and much more mathematical work because you have spreadsheets you have to balance, you have time sheets that you have to balance, you have computer work you have to do, and you have to make sure the supplies are stocked. You have to, well, supplies are ordered properly. And so that is a mathematical job. Uh, but going from physical labor to mathematics, you have to be good at physical labor before they will consider you for promotion to the mathematics. That is a lot like saying you have to be good at football in order to be good at math. And that just doesn't follow. That's a non sequitur. Um, our, uh, our system is backwards in this regard. You have to prove yourself good physically in order to get the chance to prove yourself mathematically. And that just doesn't make sense. These two things are completely unrelated. Just because you're not good at the physical labor does not mean you will be bad at the mathematical labor. Likewise, just because you are good at the physical labor does not mean you will be good at the mathematical labor. And this is actually what we see a lot of the time. I currently have a manager who uh, he, he makes a lot of mistakes, to say the least. Um, and well, And I'm not the only person who said this about him. He's not really that good at his job. I am very good at mathematics. I I'm not very good at the physical labor. I have to I get very discombobulated going back and forth and spinning around and doing all this stuff physically. But if I were a manager, I would be doing one thing at a time, all mathematics, which is very easy for me because I'm good at mathematics. But uh the system has me stuck in a physical labor position, which actually has more work to it than the management position. It's like you get rewarded with less work uh by proving that you can do more work. It kind of doesn't make sense. If you are handling more if you are a higher up, you would expect to be handling more tasks, and that's not what actually is happening. You're handling fewer tasks. Yes, those tasks have higher risk, but the kind of work is completely unrelated to the work you did to earn that task. And this is one thing that the left is actually correct about. Our system is ass backwards, and we should actually be paying attention to people's unique skills. Someone who is a mathlete in high school, they should have that be paid attention to. The only thing that we do pay attention to is sports. Strangely enough, people get selected for scholarships if they're good at sports. They don't really necessarily get selected for scholarships if they're good at math. They can apply for scholarships, but it is much harder to get those than it is to get a sporting scholarship. These things are contributing to the degradation of our society. People need to be in jobs where their skills, their personal skills, are being put to use, and not in jobs where it's just like leveling up. You just do a certain amount of work for a certain period of time, and then you level up to something that is entirely different. That's not how it should go. If you are good at math, you should be put into a job where you're doing math. If you are good at sports, you should be put into a job where you're doing physical sports or physical labor. If you are good at art, you should be put into a position where you are doing graphic design or something that takes your particular skills and puts them to use. But we're trying to mold everyone into the same sort of cog in the machine. And if you work good as this size cog, you can graduate to this size cog, even though that size cog is way over here and does something entirely different. And it just is completely nonsensical. So yeah, our labor system does need to be restructured. And I'm not sure exactly how to restructure it, but I would be willing to put in some thought into that, and I would be willing to have a discussion about that. Thank you for watching. Peace.